to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, first on the agenda is the approval of minutes for the December 1st meeting.
I move that they be approved.
Second,
All in favor?
discussion?
Usually you jump right in. You're a little slow.
Sorry, so, well, I had a question, under the also present members of the public, with the sign-in sheet, do we do anything with that sign-in sheet? Or have we historically, I know some other boards and commissions will list some of the members that were present, do we know what we do with that sheet?
It gets filed with the minutes. If you wanted me to type all of the people, I could.
Or attached then, I mean,
Oh, no,
whichever might be
they're always
easier.
attached to it. I usually don't copy it on the ones that get printed for you, but.
Okay, but they're on the actual, okay, that was my only
Would
question.
the board like it to be attached, to be printed on the face? What's your pleasure?
I think it's overkill to be honest with you, but
That's fine.
As long as
As
it's
long
part
as
of the
it's-
package.
Yeah, as long as it's, I just didn't know what it was, I know it's optional anyways. On page 2, under Selectmen's comments, under A, section 1, it says that the job description was completed for the executive assistant position, which has been gone out for hire, which is, we can reword that, yeah.
Do you want to make a suggestion how?
I think that the job description was completed, which has, I know that we went out to advertise, maybe has been posted for the closing date of December 14th.
I'll agree with that.
On page 3, citizens' comments, John Pimentel, 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 lines, 6 lines down, sorry. He says they went back on November 10th to set a new date, December 2nd, which was postponed again because lack of notification. Should be lack of notification to the abutters, just so there's no confusion as to notification, whether it's agenda or whatever. And then after that it says, officers stated that the application is dropping the water bars. I don't know if it's application is dropping the water bars or if the applicant is dropping the water bars from the application.
The applicant draw.
I mean, usually I try my best to type what he actually said and
Okay.
not change it, but I
Okay.
can go back and listen to it.
I just had a question because I didn't know which was what, the applicant or the, I don't know if it matters, but, and then about halfway down on this page, it says Don Pimentel asked why, and she said she wouldn't recommend that to the commission. I didn't know recommend what, I believe she explained what she wasn't going to recommend to the commission, but it was kind of confusing, again, if that's verbatim, then I understand, but it, I was just confused as to what that meant.
Well, he requested that both applications be held together for the public hearing.
I think it was
And
because
Mara
she
says
wasn't
she
going to
wouldn't
recommend one
recommend
of
that to
them.
the commission, to do them both in the same night.
Okay, for the public hearing?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
So what would you like it to say? What would you like the correction to be?
Maybe presenting both applications before the commission? Would that make more sense?
I would say that both
It just-
applications together at the public hearing,
Yeah,
and she said no, and wouldn't recommend that to the commission.
that's what it says. She said she wouldn't recommend that to the commission. I think that's accurately stated as is, isn't it?
Correct.
I'm sorry, so no correction there?
No, to clarify that, it's, where was
you
it?
can not correct it, but then for clarification purposes, now I understand what he meant. Thank Kristen Campbell asked if the first selectman oversees all departments in town, and then she continued asking questions. Ken Bosley answered that he's still gathering information and waiting to talk to town council. I would add about Star Road, because that was his answer about Star Road. And then I believe he also answered her question about overseeing the departments. He said he has the authority to a certain extent, which departments he oversees. If you oversee all the departments in town, and she asked a few questions and then you responded to one of them. You're still gathering information, you're waiting to talk to town council. I would add about Star Road, because that's what you're waiting to talk to town council about, correct?
Correct.
And then I would just add in there that you also answered her question about if you oversee departments, that you have the authority to a certain extent.
Yeah, but I think this does reflect what
It
was
does.
said then, even if it's
Based on
not.
the conversation,
Right, I
Okay.
think this does reflect what was said,
Okay,
even if it's not
not
an answer.
Correct.
if you will.
okay, just wanted to make
the
sure
gist,
that,
the gist of the comments are there.
Sure, do I count that as a change, or?
I don't think you need to make a change myself.
No change.
and then on page 6 under B, on the first line, John Pimentel read a legal notice aloud. I just didn't know if we had which legal notice that was, if he said what it was dated for. And then halfway down, he stated that if Marla was doing her due diligence, she would inform him that another application was submitted, that him should be the first selectman.
Can you ask Don that one? 'Cause
Don,
he
did
was
you-
referring to himself.
Sure,
Right, exactly.
she would inform him,
Right.
meaning the first selectman, not him meaning you.
Right, exactly.
So it's accurate in his comments. The way he said it, it's accurate.
That's not a change again?
It's accurate based on his comments.
Okay.
That's all.
Is that? Okay, all in favor with the corrections? Aye. Okay, correspondence. I brought back from the Northeast Department of Health a meeting for new people, newly elected, about what they do. I brought back a copy of that for your reading, reading at your leisure. The state police gave us their monthly report on incidences in the town of Thompson, and you can read that at your leisure.
Ken, do you know how that compares, for the audience, it mentions the troop responders, 373 calls for service in our town. Do you have an idea of how that compares to perhaps a prior year, or?
I would have to go back through the minutes, gather these out and tally them up and see where we're, for 14 versus 15, where we're at.
Just curious.
If you would like to, I will
No, that's.
work on that for you, it's not a problem. You also have a copy of the minutes of the town meeting that was held on October 28th. You also have a copy of CTI technology transfer. This was information that I had gotten from the cost meeting that I had in Hartford on the 8th. So just some reading there as to some of the things that they do. That's what I have for correspondence there. Okay, we move on to, lost my picture. Selectmen's comments. I do have several issues to comment on. I attended Yukon Engineering with town planner Mary Ann Shinati. There are several projects going on in the town that were initiated by the past administration. We went to Yukon on December 8th, One is the Blaine Road Bridge design for the trail system up at the West Thompson Dam. That bridge design has been completed and was presented to the professors with us and Mary Ann, myself, and some people from the Trails Committee that were in attendance there. Beautiful design, the students did a great job. They're raising the level by 9 feet off the road and putting, I think it's a 30, don't hold me to the length, maybe an 80-foot span across, and then tapering from 9 feet back down, so it's gonna be above the current water floodplain. So it's gonna have, and it's a prefab bridge that they're putting up. They did a nice job on it. This design was funded by the town for the plans, but the Army Corps of Engineers is actually gonna buy and pay for it. Came in at $227,000 to do it there, but.
Good old Army.
Yeah, good old Army. It only cost us for the design, I think it was either $1,000 or $1,500 that we had added to this to get that done, because they didn't have the money for the design. Also going on is the Plum Road sewer connection to the industrial park. The students are working on doing that with the water and the sewer. Stovepipe shop on Riverside Drive and Wilsonville Road has been started, the design phase. And they're also designing the I-395 and Route 193 redesign of the exit ramps for the industrial park. A presentation by UConn will be scheduled in January here at the town in order for them to show exactly, but that, we will definitely have the final design for that and an update on where they are in the other three.
Is there a date for that?
Not as of yet.
Okay, thank you.
I will be scheduling it as soon as I hear back from UConn. I did attend a NECOG special meeting on December 4th to review possible grant applications. More information to follow as applications are submitted. I believe you've got, it's under, you do have that information.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
For the, what there is the items that they felt were of interest and that could be funded. I do leave that for your reading. Shared trail and road maintenance equipment, agricultural value added product processing, marketing feasibility study, regional hazmat site, that we're gonna group together a few, regional human resource management, regional technology and information, and shared back office, which is kind of all IT type stuff, and a pre-hospital emergency service information, which has to do with the ongoing project that they have been doing with the paramedic intercept. This is the next phase of that, so they're looking to get funding to continue that on. So these are things that they will be presenting, writing grants, and at some point in time, we will be, whichever ones that we wish to partner on with, there'll be some resolutions in the future for that.
One of the things I noticed is that they have a regional animal services facility.
Yes.
Which we're not part of, apparently.
Nope, we are not.
It's a $600,000 proposal. Many towns in our neighborhood, if you will, are involved. Do you know anything more about that since you attended the meeting? Can you?
Well, that's what they currently have at Killingly, which is
Right.
their Killingly, not the proper term, but their dog pound that they have up there.
Right. Dave,
And we currently have ours up here. We
Right.
have Mary Bennett that does an outstanding job,
Okay.
and we're blessed to have her. And she's on call 24/7 versus them doing multiple towns out of the Killingly area.
What caught my attention was they just described, I guess, a number of codes that we're required to meet. And I just don't know, sounded like maybe there's a bunch of perhaps onerous, I'm not sure, that's why you phrase it, codes that you need to comply with. And $600,000 facility which is just modifications for the facility that they have, whether we comply with the requirements, whether there's, should we piggyback or consider piggyback, can we learn something from that?
I believe that we're up to date
Oh,
on
okay.
codes,
We are,
but I will double check with Mary and
Ask
ask
the
her.
electric, they must have a pretty fancy facility, if they're spending $600,000.
Yeah, they also do feral cats and so forth, but that's another program, so.
And I know at every budget cycle too, when she presents to us, we look at the cost, when NECOG comes and presents their budget and how much it would cost for us to tie into that. Right, and it's still, at this point, more cost effective to utilize,
own?
yes,
Okay.
just because of the cost savings that Mary's able to provide for us.
Very good.
Okay. If any, as you're, I don't know if you're aware, the town webpage has been updated online as of 12/4. Tina did send out an email to give any comments on usability or any concerns with it. It went up with very little warning. It was up and then we found out it was up. So, please contact Tina or give her any concerns, mistakes, or whatever that you may have, so that we can present that to the webmaster. Also, under contracts for the people in the audience, under contacts, we did add a link if you have a complaint or a question where you can email the first selectman, like a pothole, such and such a street, it'll go directly to the first selectman's desk so it can be passed on. Something that you find that is of a hazard or concern out there. I mean, obviously, if it's something that the PD or the fire department needs to be deal with, you go that way, but, you know, sometimes people will call in, I got a pothole, you know, they don't know if it was answered on, you know, the voicemail, the phone, and so forth. This is another way of getting more communication with the public. And the webmaster contract is due for renewal beginning January of this year. We will be looking at that. If anybody has any comments, we'll pick it up at a, something to think about.
One thing I noticed on I was looking, trying to find the agenda for the meeting online, and I was fortunate to have one, of course, but it looked like you needed to sign in, to log in, but there was no way to actually sign up to log in. So a little, might have been just me, but a little difficult. Overall, I mean, it's changed, a little hard to get used to change, but
And we need to work with it.
it's a little bit.
But if you do go up to the top, you'll see the agendas and
Yeah,
so
yeah,
forth,
yeah.
it'll bring it down.
It brings down
I
the-
don't understand what the login is for.
That's for us to post agenda minutes on
Okay.
the website.
So just answer.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay, the executive assistant resumes was completed. They were all in as of yesterday. I will be getting those packages available for your review. And as soon as they're ready, we will notify and get them out to the review team. I am still working on the fuel remediation coverage with the insurance carrier. Information has been sent to the insurance carrier as requested. As I stated before, I did attend the meeting at the Capitol Council of Small Governments. We met with the governor and the comptroller, Kevin Limbo. There was various speakers such as Freedom of Information Review and Larry Wagner, who writes grants. We use them here in town for small cities. He kind of gave a broad overview of the services, you know, for the grants and stuff to the new incoming people that were elected from the 169 towns. Dollar General construction has started, as all permits have been issued. There's been a lot of activity there. They're in the process of moving right along, and the foundation's been poured, so that's moving along well. Also, Dunkin' Donuts has received final DOT approvals as well, so that will be starting up in the near future. I did attend the Connecticut Conference of Municipalities meeting in Cromwell today. There was various legislation and the new elections of officers. One of them, some of the topics they touched on, and I have copies of that, of some of the proposed legislation, and I will make copies and get that to you, just for your input, you know, for your review. But it's another avenue of voices in order to, you know, get some things done and maybe change some legislation such as the municipal retirement account going to a third tier. They're proposing because of the differences between what the employee gives and the town contributes. It's such a wide margin. They're gonna try and create another tier to bring it more in line. So it's very common now with, governments trying to streamline their pensions as stuff goes along. I did have a request of building official Lee Post. I would be looking, he brought to my attention about, in the past, when Lee was shared with Putnam and us officially a few years ago. Putnam had supplied a vehicle, we supplied the fuel, we used the vehicle, and he used it between both towns. Lee says that is available again. I'm gonna research the numbers and see if it does make sense for us to participate, so I will get that to you in the future. There was a Board of Ed meeting last night. I did get an email from Dr. Jolin requesting that the town seek the possible litigation on the fuel spill at the school. I forwarded that information over to town attorney to know where we're gonna go from there with that. The meeting will be set up between myself and the attorney, and see where we go and go through the process. Let's see. You may have seen on TV and radio, the office has been getting questions from about Wilsonville Power Company, failure to deliver pellets as ordered for pellet stoves. There is currently an investigation being handled by the AG's office, Christine Buck, as if like deer. She can be reached at 860-808-5400. There's probably 20-odd people, and they're in the tri-state region. So we're aware of it, but that will be handled by them as well, because that's where their forte comes in. Okay, the scheduling a joint meeting with the Transfer Station Advisory Committee will be set up on their regular date that comes up in January. I'll notify you when it is. I have to meet with Finance Director and Leo on the conditions and the costs that we're meeting to date. When we have that, the meeting will be more productive. Shana had asked about the Selectmen's update in the Villager. I still think that we should do an introductory type thing, that this stuff will be doing a weekly column and introduce ourselves and kind of set the tone for that, and I think that would be a good way to start it out, especially with the beginning of the year. Kevin Walsh had asked about the board, about the town employees and the situation in Star Road, and it is a road. If you remember, Kevin, you had mentioned that, about your statements about the road, whether it's a road or not. I did speak with my staff. Any concerns with the roads come through the first selectman, and that will be handled between the first selectman, the board of selectmen, and town attorney on validation of roads and so forth. That is not part of, inlands, wetlands takes care of itself. They do their thing, but as far as a question about legality of a road, that goes through the first selectman, the board of selectmen, and the town attorney for clarifications. Christine did mention about overseeing the departments. Yes, Christine, and I don't remember if I mentioned it, the first selectman does do the day-to-day stuff, does have some control over various things that go on in the town hall, and does oversee to make sure questions are answered, information goes out, phone calls, all of that stuff. So there is an overview of that, and there are various boards and commissions that have chairs that oversee their departments as well. So, in one more thing, did forget to, it's in the office. I did get a letter yesterday from Attorney Slater. I don't know if you checked your websites, Shayna? Okay.
I've been away.
Okay, we did get a letter, came in late yesterday. I did forward this over to town attorney, which is the appropriate place to send it. It is an opinion letter along with supplying documents from Attorney Slater with a overview, of his opinion of the situation up at Star Road, concerning abandonment, et cetera, up there, in his opinion. And it is his opinion, and he will talk with town attorney on this, so it will be forwarded up. I thank you, Don, for the information from your attorney, and it has been forwarded to be dealt with. And last but not least, we are coming into the holiday season. I am gonna be as politically correct as I can be. And, holiday wishes to everybody, Merry Christmas to everybody, have a Happy New Year. It's a great time to be with your family and friends. Enjoy it. We will see you, after the first of the year with our next Selectmen's meeting. So have a safe and happy holiday. And Shane?
I have nothing.
Steve?
Couple things. I also went to a Connecticut conference on municipalities meeting, not the one you did, but one on ethics in Old Saybrook a couple weeks ago now. Nice introductory course on ethics. They really discussed how ethics commission and ordinance might work at a town. Obviously, we don't have one in our town, but they did talk about the general way how an ordinance might work at a town. Very good background. Suggests that if opportunity comes up, it might be worth attending.
The FOI?
No, ethics.
Oh, ethics, okay.
They did touch on FOI as well,
Oh, okay.
but it was primarily on ethics.
And if that was put on by cost?
CCM, by CCM.
Oh, CCM. They do hold various
Yeah, this was on
training and so forth, so I do get emails on that from CCM, being a member of that. So I will look towards that and see what type of classes are offering. If there's anything in the area that we can attend, that'd be great.
Shana, you'd asked for some suggestions for articles for publication, it might be put in a publication, and I just did a little memo here for you. And just, I think maybe an initial one might be article about the town hall, various departments that we have, the hours that we're operating, a general purpose of each of the departments, and so what there's one feeling. Tina, you can, there's one for the rest. And then maybe in subsequent editions, maybe each department could go into more depth about what they do, exactly what they might, their history, get more depth about what each department might do. So again, just wanted to give you some feedback or some responsibility. I did have one other issue I did want to comment on, and I did bring this up to the town clerk a week ago, so this is really not trying to blindside anybody. But I did go to the Secretary of State. They have the records of the town election, municipal election, and there just seems to be a discrepancy on the past election. I don't think the outcome's in doubt, to be honest with you. But I think it's important, with our democracy, it's important that we record the results carefully and accurately. So let me just try to show this to you and explain it to the audience as well. The results of the election show that the total votes cast, including absentee ballots, were 2,124 ballots. That's from the record submitted to the Secretary of State. If you take a look at the number of ballots cast for example, the town clerk, there were two candidates, of course. There are 2,170 votes cast. So in other words, there are more votes cast for that position than total ballots cast. And that doesn't make any sense. How can we have more votes cast for one position than ballots cast in total?
Did you ask the,
And I got really no answer
from the registrar of voters?
from the town clerk who submits this report.
Yep.
And I asked a week ago, so I thought, hey, maybe if it's just a sort of a simple error, I'd get a response. But again, given that it's been a week and I've gotten no answer, I thought I'd bring it up at our meeting tonight. Again, nothing more important, I think, than our voting be done accurately, reported accurately and so forth. So I just wanted to bring it up to your attention. Total votes cast, less than the votes for one particular position here. So very concerned. So let me pass it on to you if you know, for a little further follow-up, if you don't mind. I'm not gonna let it drop, of course, but
No, that's fine, I
to
understand.
your attention as well.
I'd be curious about the answer as well.
I don't
How that came,
really,
why the numbers
I
don't
have
add up.
no
Yeah.
doubt that the results of the election are what they are, but it's disturbing that the votes for that position exceed in theory, the number of ballots cast.
Okay, so you're showing,
It's very,
you're showing the whole number of votes of 21-24.
yeah, but
Okay,
again, here's the.
you have a sheet that I can add to this in order
Yeah,
to?
there's the votes cast for,
No, I know so that I have the numbers so I can
yeah, you
point
can
that
have
out.
this.
That's what, just so I can point
Sure,
it out to
you can
Jeff.
have this.
Okay, great.
I've shown this to Jeff.
And what has Jeff told you? Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I probably have to talk to Jay Kenny and Ada Temple, because they are the registrar, maybe they have some input on that as well.
Again, I thought I'd have an answer by now, and if it had, probably would be solved. But
I'll see what I can
very,
find out.
very concerned, again, elections critical. There can't be a more important responsibility than that.
Thank you, Steve. Okay,
And
bring,
I guess I got
Anything
one
else?
more, one
Okay.
more little thing. One of the other, I think, pieces of correspondence I think we all got was, a question, one of the things on the news site was comments about the, proposal on, record keeping, FOI and record keeping. And there was, it was a resolution that was adopted back in August. And Marla Butt sent us all an email regarding it.
I don't remember.
She did. There were a couple of concerns she had about that. You know what I'm talking about?
Now I know what you're talking about.
And there were a couple of concerns she had about that resolution that was adopted by the Board of Selectmen at the
Yeah.
time. And I do think that they do need to be addressed. One of them, the two issues are that the resolution appears to,
That was the policy on FOI and
yeah,
availability of
and
documents.
retention of records and.
And availability of the documents.
And the resolution is, surpasses the state law, so it doesn't seem to be appropriate, it probably needs to be modified. I guess that's my point.
What I will do is send that up to, copy that up to Tom Hennick, who does the
Yes,
training at
that's
FOI,
probably good.
and I'll send it up there for his review.
Good.
Make a notation like this. Anything else, Steve?
I think that's it.
Okay. Okay,